Hello, and welcome back to another FPL video. Today, I'm going to showcase to you how I'm going to change my FPL draft for Game Week 1. As you can see now on the screen, this is my previous draft. So I had Sanchez in goal, Gvardio, Andersen, Mikulenko, Constant, Graves in defense, Eze, Salah, Johnson, Odegaard, and Andreas were the midfielders, Isaac, Haaland, and Stewart were the final forwards. Iverson was my backup goalkeeper. This draft has several good things and several bad things, and I will be discussing how I'm going to improve on the bad things and where I want to go with the draft. I've added on FPL team the players that I will be starting game week 1 bar any injuries. Guardiola, Salah, Eze, Haaland and Isaac are my 5 guys that are not going anywhere. I'm building my draft around them and I'm considering them as my nailed and basically irreplaceable players. The way I want to build my draft and to go for it is like this. I want to have some players that are nailed and I don't care about fixtures. I don't care about anything. I just know that they're good players and they're going to bring me a lot of points throughout the process. Then there are players that are easily rotatable and I'm going to attack the fixtures with them and maybe to attack some price changes that are going to happen due to some hidden potential that hasn't been discovered yet by the regulars but is seen by the FPL community, and that price is elevated up and I can afford that player without doing anything extra. I want to say that the goalkeeper position and the defensive department are positions that are not going to be rotated so easily, so I can adjust them as well. But the 3 spaces left from my draft will be the fixtures attacking points of the draft, and that is where I want to make some changes with this draft. As you can see, let's go to the transfers. I'm going to explain it easier. Okay, I see everyone here. As you can see, we have 0 million in the bank, and apart from the players that I own, the players that I would like to change are Odegaard, Andreas and Johnson. Let's say Odegaard delivers and I cannot sell him. I will need to sell Andreas and Johnson, and those two are not going to afford me someone special. Like, let's say Nkunku starts getting points early on and I don't own him and I want to get Nkunku, I will have to drop Andreas so down that I need to go for a 5.0 or a 4.5, and that's not a lot of players, in order to catch up the price rise or to sell Odegaard, who I might not want to. So in order to avoid that, I decided to split my team in the 3 positions where I want to drop down the players into more droppable players, let's say, and I will showcase to you how I mean it. Before we jump into that part of the team, let's start building the defense. I had a thought that I wanted to share. When we go with defenses, we tend to rely on some expected goals conceded, some form, something like that, but we have 0 information for this season. We don't know who is going to play how attacking wise, not how, but how well they're going to be playing attacking wise, and hence we don't know how they're going to be playing defensive wise. The thing that we know for sure is that players that tend to attack a lot are going to still attack a lot. So for example, attacking defenders are going to be the point of this draft, and I'm going to showcase to you how they're going to be rotated throughout the first 6, 7 to 10 weeks if I don't use any single transfers on the defensive department and if I keep my players on. Let's be clear, if I decide to sell Salah, for example, for Palmer, that is possible, but for the longer duration, I tend to keep him and I'm not planning to utilize the transfers if they're still delivering. For example, if Salah is delivering, why should I sell him? Yeah, maybe I will be able to fit in Palmer and Son or Foden, for example, but it's going to be still hard. I will need to sell Eze. If I want to sell Haaland, everything is reachable. So if I sell Haaland, I can go with Watkins and I have 6 million in the bank. So I can improve 2 players from 7 to 10. So that's perfectly fine. But still, that might not be the best approach there is. I want to have the best captains, and for me Salah and Haaland are the best captains for the beginning. They had a rest during the summer, they were in a full rest and a full preparation. I know that Haaland has some issues muscular. I don't know if he is playing against I believe they play against Chelsea at the time of recording later on in the evening, but we will see in later videos. But nonetheless, Haaland for game week 2, 3, and 4 is one of the better options as a captain option. If he is not as fit as I expect him to be, Salah is an amazing option once again to captain in game week 2. I know that Palmer, Son, Saka are all great players, and that's true. And Son has had a full break so far, but the fixture run is not as amazing as compared to Salah and Haaland to begin with. And I can easily move from Salah to Son, but I cannot go from Haaland to from Son to Salah. If you know what I mean, it's going to be way more difficult because I'm not starting with 2.5 million in the bank. So yeah, these players that are the core of my team are there because I tend to believe in them and I know that they are going to deliver points throughout the first batch of fixtures. If they're fit, if they're playing, and if everything is all right with them, and if they remain into their clubs, because there is a rumor that Eze might be leaving, and we might need to fit someone else instead of him if he's not starting. But that's a different topic for different period of time. For now, with the information that we have, Eze is staying and Eze will be playing into my side. There are rumors that Solanke might be joining Spurs, and if that's the case, the third forward spot here is going to go to Solanke. For me, he's going to benefit a lot from the attacking potential of the Postecoglou lineup, but for now he's still at Bournemouth, so I'm not quite interested there yet, but it's a once to watch for sure up until the start of the season. 2 weeks left, so we have a lot of data and information to process. But let's not continue speaking about some pointless stuff. Let's go into the draft. Let's put in quickly 4.5 keeper. It doesn't matter who it is. If we go to Leicester, for example, let's see. They have Hermansen, who is most probably going to be starting. They have Iversen, Stowarczyk, I don't know who this guy is, and Ward. Maybe Ward is the second option. I'm not sure. I don't care, honestly. This is a non-playing keeper. The keeper that I'm going to go for is Henderson from Crystal Palace. If there are some rumors that Johnston is starting, I will switch them around, but I believe that the Crystal Palace keeper is the one to start with for the 4.5 options. I don't like Sales, and by the looks of it, he's the guy that is going to be starting instead of Miguel. I don't like the Chelsea situation yet. I don't know who is their number one in goal. They just brought in a new keeper, but what does it mean? I'm not completely sure. So yeah, I'll be opting for Henderson. Other options are Flecken and Tariola, but they do not have the most amazing start of the season, especially Flecken. If you go and see, he has those 3 away fixtures and United in game week 8 compared to Henderson, who has Chelsea and United, and Liverpool, to be fair, but bar that, up until 8, only one tough away fixture, so at home they can do a lot of things, so I will be opting for Henderson. Here, as I already mentioned, I would like to target players that are going to get a lot of attacking returns, as we're not sure who is going to be good defensively yet. Last season, we didn't know that Arsenal were going to be that great, and yeah, we got an Arsenal defender, but they were far, far better than we expected. Things change compared to last season to this season, so getting the clean sheets nailed on is pretty difficult in my opinion. So I wouldn't be aiming to do that. But for sure, one thing is going to remain the same, and that's going to be, as already mentioned, the attacking potential. Speaking about attacking potential, there isn't a better player to talk about attacking potential than Pedro Porro. Spurs player, I know that they do not have the most amazing run of fixtures, but they have Leicester and Everton, then they have Brentford, United, Brighton, West Ham. I can play in all of them. I can play him against Newcastle as well, even though Newcastle were scoring a lot of goals at home. Still, if that's the case, I can rely on him and I can be playing him, but for now I will be steering away from that. Speaking about attacking defenders, there is a 4.0 option that everyone is talking about, and he's so highly owned that I might go for him. Like Everton away at the first game, I might risk it and just stick with him and go with Everton away. Then it's United at home for Brighton. It's still not such a bad fixture, especially with the United's injury problems. Then there is Ipswich, then there is Forest, and then it gets trickier and trickier. But still, A pretty good run follows after that, but from the first 5 fixtures, I can see myself playing in at least 3 of them. Barco, that's more than enough for a 4.0 defender, and he's just a better option compared to the rest of the players because I don't like how the Southampton, Ipswich, and Leicester center backs are looking. Like, they are not going to get anything from that run of form. So, yeah, I will be most probably going for Barco to start the season with. Now I have a dilemma. I want to go for this guy. It's called Davis from Ipswich. I know that I said that Ipswich are not having the best run of fixtures and are not the best team there is, but they have an okay fixture run, and this guy is on all set pieces. I will be hard benching him in game week 1 and 2. He's not going to get a sniff of the playing field, but still I can rely on him in a lot of fixtures, and he can easily replace for game week 3 and 4 Poro. Like, if we go with Davis, and another guy that I want to fit in is Robinson from Fulham. I know that Fulham are not the most amazing team defensively, but look at that fixture run. In the first 6, they have 4 easy fixtures. I know Ipswich, they just get over with each other, but still I will be relying on both teams scoring and both fullbacks being involved. But still, Leicester, Ipswich, West Ham, Forest. I know Forest are an okay team currently, but still it's just a flip of a coin team, and I can be relying on that. So for game week 1, I will be going with Barco, Poro, and Guardiola. 2 left backs, 1 right back, pretty simple. Then in game week 2, it gets a little bit trickier for Barco, but he is immediately out for Robinson, who has Leicester at home. Pretty good if you ask myself. Game week 3, this is where it gets tricky for Pedro Poro, but here, yeah, I'm a little bit challenging my 2 defenders one against each other, but still, why the hell not? I'm for attacking returns for Davis. They might concede 5 goals, but if he scores like Doughty does or something similar, it's going to be interesting. Then going in game week 4, I can go for that rotation pretty easy. Then game week 5 emerges. I can easily bench Guardiola even this week. I can play Southampton. I can play Forest. I have a lot of potential here. Then in game week 6, it's United for Poro, Villa for Davis. So here we're going to have a little bit of an issue, but I can easily play Poro there. I can swap Barco for Guardiola as I'm not benching my City player for a game against Newcastle, and I can play Robinson. Then in game week 7, it looks good currently, so I'm not too distraught. Game week 8, it looks alright. Game week 9, it looks alright-ish. So yeah, we have a lot of options. Some tricky games where my defenders face each other. Another option to go for is Konsa. I like Konsa a lot as a player, and their defensive form is going to improve. There are no issues with it apart from home fixture against Arsenal in game week 2. But there I can be still playing Barco, like against United. I will be not too worried about that. Then game week 3 comes. It's then Konsa instead of Barco. So options here. Then we might even keep it like that. If Barco is not playing, if he's playing, we can go instead of Davis. It's going to be a 50-50 decision. Then against Arsenal, we can rest Guardiola, and we have 3 players playing. Game week 6, it's a little bit tricky, but still I can rely on those players. United and Newcastle, yeah, it's not the most amazing run of fixtures, but still it's okay run of fixtures. Then game week 7 is okay. Game week 8 once again is okay. Game week 9. So I have options. The only issue is, should I go with game week 2 with Robinson, or should I rely more on Konsa, who might get a lot of attacking returns, might not get as much as I would like him to get, and game week 2 seems like too early to be playing a harder game. So here, if I go, let's not waste transfer here, but honestly, Robinson here, and we're pretty alright, and it's not an expensive defense compared to Poro. I can play Poro every week if I want to and if I have to, so it's not a big deal. Yeah, some of the defenders are going to face against each other, but still, do I care that much? Probably not. Like, it's not such a bad thing. Yeah, it's not a great thing, especially when we have players like Aina. Yeah, Forest are another team that I'm looking forward to getting. So if I go with Aina here, so instead of Robinson, we go with Aina, who has this fixture run, and then we go like this. Aina is here, Southampton, Everton, Ipswich. It doesn't get better than that. Then it's Fulham, Wolves, West Ham. Here in game week 4, we are once again facing defenders against each other, and they might not play, but I will be willing to play Poro if Barco is not playing by any chance. Game week 5, again defenders against each other, so it's really depends on who I like more, and I don't believe so much in the Forest attacking potential from the fullbacks. I just believe more in Robinson, so like that it looks better in my opinion. Like attacking the early fixtures, I can easily play Poro. If I don't feel like Davis is going to do a thing against Newcastle, okay, only game week 4 is a little bit tricky, so yeah, it's not such a bad thing to consider here. Robinson, yeah, Poro is going to be benched, but still, I believe that defense is going to get me a lot of points. I don't know predicted point, like 4 points, 2.6. It's not a big number, but against Liverpool, this guy has 2.6 points, which is not so bad. Here, it's good numbers once again. Good numbers once again. So yeah, the defense looks pretty alright if you ask me. We're not nailing on clean sheets. Like I cannot predict. Yeah, maybe Everton can get a clean sheet, but they're Brentwaite, Tarkovsky, and Mikulenko, and Pickford hasn't played a minute in preseason yet, so it's a little bit tricky. Forrester quite rotating for my liking, but they're okay. Let's say defensively, so I can go there. Robinson is performing really well. Barco has been taking some set pieces. Poro might take some set pieces as Madison is being subbed off pretty early. So yeah, a lot of options for the defensive department, and I quite like this rotation. So let's go, and I'm going to leave Iversen. It doesn't matter who I go with. So let's put the players that I. So Konsa, let me just see something about him. He made 1 goal and 1 assist. That's not enough for me. Like it's just not. Livramento might become an option, but Trippier needs to leave in order for this to happen. So Henderson is the okay. Let's put Davis. So here it's Henderson, who's going to be basically playing every game, and I will be not rotating him. Poro is here. Next up is not Mikulenko, but Barco, who did he get a start? Yes, 3 starts, only 5 points, but a lot of expected assists and some corner kicks. That's a hidden gem, if you ask me. And the last defender here is going to be Robinson, who finished the season with 6 assists. Let's be real. So yeah, a pretty good return overall compared to Consus. So now who are we missing? Yeah, we need 4 players to finish up the squad, and here are the positions that I was referring to. Sorry if that video is a little bit more extended than expected, but this is a team that I would like to explain what I'm getting and why I'm willing to do several things. But those 4 positions here that are left, the 3 midfielders and the 1 forward, are the positions that are going to be rotated. I will be starting in a 3-4-3, so I can easily drop down my forward down to release some funds or improve him a little bit while dropping some of the midfielders in order to catch up some rises. But the important part here is that I need a 6.5 placeholder, and that 6.5 placeholder is going to be heavily attacking fixtures. So that means for the first week I'm going to attack, for the second week I'm most probably attacking a fixture run, for the third week I'm attacking, and I'm going to go for explosive players. Like I'm not going to rely on Morgan Gibbs White, let's say, but let's say we go to a midfielder and we start with a 6.5. So I can go with Bailey, but this is not a fixture attacking. If I go from game week 3, I'm attacking fixtures, and that's a thing to consider. But those 2 fixtures are not so much attackable, to say the least. Brighton are, these fixtures are going to be the attacking wise. And Nkunku after City, this run of fixtures, I may attack it, I may not. We need to see how Nkunku is playing. He said that he is not on 100%. I'm not relying that he is not going to be, but still, we need to see about that. McAllister and Szoboszlai, not for my liking. Grealish is a player that I would highly consider, especially for Ipswich. Might be quite risky. Garnacho is an option. Barnes is a brilliant option in my opinion. Southampton, he has been playing. Then Bournemouth, so I might go with Barnes, who, why the hell I shouldn't. Like, he returned late on in the season, but the player that I want to go is from Spurs. It's either going to be Johnson, who faces Leicester in the first week, or Kulusevski, who as well faces the same team in the first week. But have in mind that this player is leaving the team bar game week 2. So from then on is going to be whoever is performing well. Imagine if Kulusevski, who is playing as a forward by the way, but if they get Swanke, it gets a little bit tricky. Kudus is an option, but they're signing Somerville, they're signing Fulkrug, if I'm not mistaken, they're signing Rodriguez guy from Real Betis, if I'm not mistaken. So there are a lot of things going into the transfer season, but Barnes is staying. He has been in a good form. He has scored several goals last season. So if we go here and we go with all players and we go with Barnes, he scored 5 goals and made 3 assists from a pretty similar numbers with only 7 starts. Previous season 13 goals. Like, he has been a player that has been scoring goals, and maybe Gordon is not going to be involved so much from the start, but Southampton at home is a pretty good game. I'm not sure yet if I'm going to go for a Spurs player there or for a second Newcastle attacker. I'm highly deliberating. Gibbs White is a little bit off the radar as Bournemouth. I don't see it as such an amazing fixture to go with the 6.5. I will showcase to you what I'm going to do there with my Forest attacker. But still, options. Garnacho is here. We can go down to the 6.0 options. We can then go to the 5.5 if we'd like. But for now, the thing I'm going to be doing is going to start, let's say, with the Spurs. No, let's start with the Newcastle player, as we have more clearance there still. There are rumors for them signing Kusua, so I don't think he's going to affect Barnes minute, especially for the first fixture. So I'm going to go with Barnes. It's not the most ideal player here to pick if I have to be completely honest, but still I'm willing to go to certain extents and rotate that place. Another place that I want to target here is the 4.5 midfield, and I will be going with a certain new player that is what was his name? I forgot. Yeah, it's Bergvall. This guy, Bergvall, is such an amazing guy. He's playing so well in preseason, and I feel like a 4.5 increase is going to happen pretty soon. He's replacing Maddison pretty well. He's having some amazing things to do, and I enjoy watching him play, so I will be going with him. Let's be real, I'm not relying on that position, so Bergvall is a player. It's either him or Stewart in the forward line, and Stewart is not playing. Well, Bergvall can have some increase in prices, so I will be opting for him. That leaves me with 13 million. I can split that money pretty well. I can go with the 7.5 midfielder and the 5.5 attacker, but the way that I'm going to do is like I'll be relying on Chris Wood. Not because that he's such a high player, but this fixture run is so good. Like, pretty easy 3 home fixtures, away to Liverpool, away to Southampton, away to Brighton. He can contribute to some extent to some goals, and I feel like some goals are coming his way if we go and see how he performed during the last season. He scored 14 goals. 14 goals is not a number to be underestimated, and Ioni is not up to speed yet. So Chris Wood is going to be starting the season, and for me, he has a really special place into the team. And the 3-4-3, it's a great usage of the funds, in my opinion, that I have been freeing from Odegaard. And speaking about Odegaard, I have 7 million here to go for. So I can go for a player by the likes of Gabriel Jesus, but I don't have the space so he's not a not go. I can go for Mbumo, I can go for Sterling, I can go for even Arnold and just play with 4 defenders. Alvar is an option, but not really. Rashford is at price point that interests me, but not a lot of players at the 7.0 currently. But the guy that I want to mention here specifically is an Arsenal boy. I know that you're going to say, oh my god, you're not going for Jesus, Havertz, Saka, Odegaard, the Neot guys, Rice. Yes, I'm going to go for one of their left wingers, and I'm going to go for none other than Martinelli. If Trossard is rumored to be starting, I'll be going with Trossard, but by the looks of it, Martinelli has been doing pretty well in preseason, and I want to target several fixtures with it. You're going to say you're insane. How the hell are you going to go with Martinelli? This is such a different approach. It's not Neon. I don't care about Neones here. I care for him to go, score 1 or 2 goals in 1 or 2 games, and get rid of him. That's why I need those 3 players to be interchanging. And then I can drop down Martinelli to a 6.5 midfielder, being either Nkunku, Grealish, Soboslai, or whoever the hell is tearing up the Prem at that price below 7 million. Even 7 million is reachable. I can go with Mbumo. Let's say they destroy those Palace. They do against Liverpool. Then they have Southampton, and Tony has left, and he's on pens, so he's great. If Tony has left, another guy is immediately popping up on the radar after game week 5. I can sell Wood for him, and I can be freeing budget from Martinelli. If that's the case, I can be freeing up budget from Martinelli to go to some Arsenal defender for game week 6. I can be dropping Salah in game week 6 when they face Wolves, to be fair, but still there I go for Arsenal midfielder like Saka or someone else. And Nkunku is on the horizon. He's going to be pretty popular, and I'm a little bit scared to go without him, but still I might start without him. Brighton boys are going to become popular around the game week 4. So Mitoma, Minte, Adingra, João Pedro. From Chelsea, Madueke, Mudryk, and Nkunku are here. City have players, United have players, Newcastle, Spurs, West Ham, who, by the way, after game week 4, it's not that bad. Like, yeah, Chelsea, okay, but Brentford, Ipswich, then Forest, Everton, then they have a green row of fixtures. Spurs and United are not so good defensively yet, so I can see a goal happening there. So, yeah, a lot of things can happen and a lot of possibilities are there. Wolves are another team that it might become interesting, so I want to have players that I can easily get rid of, but they're going to start the first game, and that's when I need them. Southampton at home for Barnes. It's not Gordon-esque like an option, but still a good option in my opinion. He started the latest friendly where they looked like the starting lineup in my opinion, but we'll see how it goes as they lost that friendly. We'll see what is going to change there. Martinelli has been starting. Let's see if he continues starting. Even if he doesn't, he's going to get on. And Martinelli last time around scored how many goals? Like 6 goals still. If he gets certain minutes, he's going to be spot on and he's going to be doing well. Wood is there to perform well, so Barnes and Martinelli are going to be leaving the side pretty quickly. I have Bergwall who can cover for them, and I think I'm in a pretty good position. I can swap Barnes for Bailey if I want to target Aston Villa from the get-go and just don't care about it. But that will mean that I wouldn't be targeting Barnes fixture and I'll have only Martinelli to sell, which is not such a bad thing if I have to be honest. I may just drop Barnes and go for Bailey and just be done with it. And I have West Ham who are not amazing defensively. Arsenal are going to perform, but on the counter he can do bits. Leicester, Everton, Wolves, Ipswich, all of those teams can concede against Aston Villa. So I may start like that, so let's keep it like that. We'll see how the team is going to change. But yeah, I think I have a Neo defense, 4 Neo attackers, and then I have to rotate 3 players and just get the prices right and see what I can do with the money that I keep and the money that I save. I can even improve Martinelli and go for 2 5.5 options, but that will leave me pretty vulnerable if I have to be fair, so I would be more probably keeping the 6.5 player like Bailey, who if he's performing, he's sticking up until game week 6 and we are just not caring about anything else, and this is what might be happening. Really, I have an attacking side there. Martinelli can easily become Kulusevski or Johnson, and I just go without an Arsenal player. But I would like Arsenal player just to see how they play Spurs. Yeah, they're doing great, but the player that I'm most interested is Son, apart from Poro, and I don't have the money. Woods is there to cover. He can drop down to a lot of players. If we go to the forward position, this is it. So Joao Pedro, Welbeck, Broja, Fofana, Edward is still here. Dewap is an option, Vardy is an option, Armstrong is an option, Archer might become an option if he leaves, Mark Guiu is most probably going to become not the best option, but an option. So yeah, we have several things to consider, several players to discuss. For now, I'm happy with it. I'm pretty content. So I'm going to add Bailey here. I'm going to add not Andreas. The thing about the 5.5 midfielders, I'm not pretty excited by any of them, and that speaks a lot. Like the only player that excites me is Hudson-Odoi, and maybe what was his name? Smith Rowe, but still I'm not sure if that's worth risking, and I cannot pivot easily to someone I like. Even if someone is destroying the 5.5 bracket, Martinelli is gone for that player. Let's say it's Minte from Brighton. If it's a 5.5 and I can reach him because he's 5.6, I'm going to be pretty annoyed. So yeah, Martinelli is most likely the guy leaving pretty soon, but I'm willing to give him a 1 week trial to see how he does. He may do pretty bad, he may do pretty well. I don't care, honestly. Game week 2, he may be gone. I'm not a fan of the strategy where you just keep your transfers and then wildcard. Like, why the hell should I do that? I will have way more information if I wildcard later, and transfers are now used just to keep me afloat and just keep delivering. So making the transfers and then sorting the team. Yeah, this is it. And this is it. So the captain is going to be Salah, the vice is Isaac, saving my team, and I think I have a pretty good lineup. So if we go and duplicate, and then we go to what was the site? uh Fantasy Football Hub. Yes, let's see what the AI is saying, what rating is going to give it me. Let's see. So we go with Henderson. Then we pick Ward, for example. Here we go with Guardio. Here we go with Poro. Here we go with, who was the other guy? It was Barco. Here we go with Robinson. Here we go with Davis. So this is Salah. This is Martinelli. This is Eze. This is Bailey, for example. And this is Bergvall. Up front, it's Howard. Then it's Isaac. Then it's Chris Wood. And let's see if we analyze the team. It's 93% rated. So without thinking, yeah, I think it's a good draft. So yeah, I like it. I like how it looks. I don't know. I may be onto something. I may be talking pretty gibberish, but I feel like I have attacking defenders, attacking midfielders, attacking forwards that are taking shots. I have 4 penalty takers, which is more than enough. I have 2 more set piece takers. I don't know if Bailey is taking some set pieces, probably not, but I can even go from Isaac to, let's say, Martinelli down to Barnes and Isaac to Watkins. I have a double up in the view of players. I can then swap Bailey around. I can do several things that I will be more than happy, and I will be keeping my core, and I will be changing around. Like Bruno and Odegaard are out of the equation, but okay, it's not such a big loss in my opinion. Like, there is no one at 8 million that is going to excite me, so yeah. 7.5 intrigues me. Like, if we go to 7.5, Midfielders like Jota might be into my game week draft. If he is for sure starting, I can drop Bailey to a 6.0, but I don't think it's going to be worth it with Diaz Gordon. But yeah, honestly, it might be Martinelli out for Jota just to start against Ipswich, and then Bailey out for a 6.0, who is going to be most probably a 5.5. Like, yeah, but then it's going to be Jota who is going to be rotated, so 5.5. But it doesn't excite me that much, so maybe Wood can get dropped down to Pedro, but Pedro is not nailed yet. Yeah, options, but I believe that Diogo Jota is not starting so much in the regular season. There's going to be rotation, and yeah, Martinelli is just at that better price point range where I don't have to waste more than one transfer to fill in the budget. So yeah, I feel pretty great with that draft. It took me a lot of minutes to record this video, but I had a lot of thoughts gathered on the vacation. I hope you like this video. Tomorrow I will be doing, so on Monday, for whoever, whenever you watches this, I will be doing a rate your draft stream. So I will be putting down a notification to speak about drafts and everything, to put down drafts for to be rated. So yeah, we're going to talk about that. I hope you enjoyed this video, but for now guys, I'll be heading out. Bye.